community organizer for Constance Action Center. I'm here today to express my opposition to the proposed Point LNG facility. At Constance Action Center, we start our work with the core belief that everyone has a right to breathe clean air, drink clean water, and live in a healthy community where government operates responsibly and democratically. Our mission is to make these rights a reality by organizing side by side with community groups to tackle environmental threats and develop and train new leaders to strengthen the environmental and social change movements. We've been around since 1987 and have helped over 800 communities prevent and clean up pollution. We work proactively to protect our health and the environment throughout this region. From our work in frontline communities, including supporting groups fighting the citing of infrastructure in Rhode Island, and Weymouth, we know that we have every reason to be concerned about the effects of LNG facilities on public health and on the environment. And I'd like to share 3 of these with you tonight. First, we know that the storage of LNG is toxic and it's dangerous, particularly when considering the effects of climate change, including coastal flooding and storm surges. The dangers of these facilities are well documented, ranging from fires and explosions to carcinogens that are released in the processing of liquefied natural gas. Adding this facility to the plethora of chemical facilities already located in the Port of Providence would be particularly risky because temperatures could be hot enough in a coal fire to compromise chemical storage tanks like those used at the Univar chemical facility. Further, it is short-sighted, if not downright irresponsible, to site an LNG facility in an area that is at risk from the effects of coastal flooding and other climate change-related weather impacts. As we've heard tonight, the situation in Texas after Hurricane Harvey and in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maura should cause us all to stop and ask ourselves, when the proposed Fields Point facility ends up underwater, what will we say and how can we guarantee that people are not going to be harmed by the National Grid facility and its employees not being able to access and safeguard that facility? Second, we know that despite what we hear from oil and gas companies, these projects cannot be justified by any consumer's need for natural gas. National Grid itself has stated that LNG storage is currently only needed in Rhode Island for up to 9 days a year. This means that the majority of the LNG produced at the facility would be exported to other locations, including Rhode Island and Massachusetts. But a study commissioned by Massachusetts Attorney General Maura concluded that Massachusetts doesn't need, quote, increased natural gas capacity to meet electricity reliability needs, and, quote, electric ratepayers shouldn't foot the bill for additional pipelines. Ratepayers in Rhode Island should not be asked to subsidize the export of natural gas. Instead, the state should support expanded access to energy efficiency measures and a just transition to renewable energy infrastructure that supports the workers and community members who live in the neighborhoods directly affected by these facilities. Finally, and most importantly, we know that frontline communities, including the Southside and Washington Park neighborhoods, are heavily overburdened by polluting industries that cause residents to suffer from asthma and an extremely high risk of chemical exposure. Environmental racism has created such stark inequalities that where you live, down to your zip code, can determine how fast you get sick and how soon you die. Right here in Providence, all 11 facilities that release toxic chemicals are located in a single zip code, 02905. It's no coincidence that these polluters can be found within 1 mile of the proposed facility. The Southside and Washington Park neighborhoods should not be expected to bear the additional and unnecessary burden of supplying the rest of Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and other countries with liquefied natural gas. For all of these reasons, I ask you to oppose this facility.